to our very first episode of Big Eyes Small Mouth, more affectionately known as BESM. Sounds a little bit too not safe for work for me, so I'll be continuing to use the full title. As always, we would like to thank our sponsors, D&D Beyond, that is D, the letter N, D, Beyond.com, as well as Lucky Dice Cafe and Station Retro. If you're looking for live games to play out in the Huntsville, Alabama area, you should go check out those two locations where you will be able to find our head DM, Captain Sack, running games and adventures from those two live locations out in Huntsville. So, V, tell us about Big Eyes Small Mouth.
Oh God, Big Eyes Small Mouth. As you can kind of understand it, is in the mentality of anime. Got the big eyes, got the small mouth. That's how it is. There are many different sort of I don't remember the word, genres that you can go, including like mech. There's actually one that's like estranged girl, like different girlfriend. Like what was it called? There's supernatural action, samurai ninja. Yeah, exotic girlfriend is one of them. Sports anime, hero team, magical girl. There's so much you can do with Big Eyes Small Mouth. This time around, we're doing mechas. So everyone has their own mecha, and we will expand on that once we get more into character creation. Everyone's got their player character. Everyone's got their own mecha. I didn't make them take the Own a Big Mecha skill, so it doesn't take away from their points. But most of the skills that you would normally put into your character this time around is going to be going into the mecha. So there are things that you can do there. So I gave them 40 points to play around with, which is technically in the high-powered game area. But here's the question now, because I am a fool and completely forgot that mechas have their own point system. Every level in mecha, if they wanted to, you would get an extra 20 points that can only be used towards mecha skills. Things like toughness and what are some of the other ones? Let's see. Extra
AI.
capacity, extra endurance, mecha regeneration, things like that. If you guys, now I leave this kind of up to you guys. If you guys want to put levels into mecha and have those extra points to play around with, we can do that. But we will be taking from the 40 points and dumbing that down a little bit. So it's up to you whether you want the mecha to be able to have extra attacks, be summonable, have toughness, super transformation, things like that. Or they can have the skills that you would normally take otherwise. Things like, I just about read out Own a Big Mecha. Extra arms, flight, force field, gun bunny. That took me a little second. Illusion, jumping, things like that. What are you guys peeling? Do you enjoy having the mecha have its own little point system and wanting to have that extra on top of it? Or do you just want to take the 40 points and leave it on everything else?
So, clarification.
Yes.
So, we would have a 40-point character.
Yes.
And then how many points would our mecha be?
You wouldn't, if you take the 40 points, you won't get any mecha points. Your mecha will be, you will have a base sort of mecha. So I'm giving you guys basic life support. You guys can go certain depths with the mecha. You guys can go certain heights with the mecha. They all have a specific sort of like base speed, unless you take speed increases from the regular skill list. Things like flight, you can also take in the regular list, which is not in the mecha point list. So you guys would have a mecha, and I'd still, if there are things you want to take from the mecha list and use your points for, you are more than willing, but you guys all have the basic mecha points. Or basic points to use on mecha. You guys wouldn't be getting any extra mecha points, per se. You wouldn't be able to put levels into the mecha.
Makes sense.
Personally, I like the option to customize it a little. So I don't know how everybody else feels, but yeah, I mean, depending on what the base mecha package is, it might be fun to be able to customize it and say,
Yep.
well, my mecha has a shield and sword, whereas somebody else might take the sniper rifle kind of option.
No, you guys would have that option. I know there are other skills in the skill list that says you can have a like a special weapon. And you guys can take any sort of weapon you like. If you want to have a sword, you're more than welcome to have a sword. If you want a shield, shield. If you guys just want to have a giant broom, sweep the competition. You'll be fine.
It's a good one.
Best. I'm here for some of the night.
Don't make that
But
promise yet.
can't make any promises. Not allowed. Can't do it.
Well, being that this is anime inspired, dibs on really big yo-yo.
Do it.
Ooh.
Okay.
Do it. I can one example of a character I can actually introduce you guys to, just as an example of what she is. Her name is Dahlia. She has a mech that's called the Orchid. The Orchid is based off of like an orchid mantis. So whenever you look at it, it's thin, it's like pale white with pinks, and as its weapons, it has those two sort of scythe-looking weapons that would normally be for the hands for the praying mantis. And that's what she fights with. And that is her mech. So you guys have a lot of room to play around with. There are a couple mechs that don't even carry weapons. They just use sheer force along their mechs. Yep. So there are a lot of things you guys get the chance to play around with. But why don't we move on to, why don't we think on that for a little bit before we get into the points? Let's think about our body, mind, and soul stats. So these do take away from your 40 points. You've got a value from 0 to 12. Your body stat, I'll just read it from the book because that makes more sense for me. This stat measures the physical aspects of your character. This includes overall health, strength, endurance, quickness, rate of healing, manual dexterity, the ability to withstand trauma. A character with a high body stat is in good physical shape. So going from 0 to 12, completely and utterly useless, to best in the universe and unequaled? I don't know what that word is. Unequaled. I don't read good. Where in the middle, 6, significantly above human average. Your mind stat. The mind stat represents a character's mental abilities, high value, indication, intelligence, witty and quick learning characters. So, just a brain stat. And the soul stat. So this represents your willpower, determination, and spirit, and can sometimes represent psychic power, empathy, and unity with nature. A high rating in the soul stat helps a character focus on his or her personal energies or life force to go beyond his or her normal limits to power special abilities. So what have you guys looked into points for that?
Mm-hmm.
I have put some ideas down that I had. That was as far as I got.
Has anybody written down what they would want their stats to be, and we can talk about them?
I understand that you can only have one at the max stat.
Yeah.
Right? That's what I read.
It's up to DM.
Right. It's up to the DM ultimately, but that's
I mean, if you have more than one at the max stat, a lot of your points are going into body, mind, and soul, and then not going into your skills. So those stats are really good, but you won't have any skills to kind of fall back on if you didn't want, or unless you just didn't want any skills, and you're like, I want to max out. Let's do it.
So on the
Or
character
go
sheet,
these other methods with my bare hands.
Yes, Maddie.
On the character sheet, it has us starting with 1 in each of those points, but it doesn't seem to affect our stat otherwise. Is that as it should be, or is that something we should be changing?
Says
Because then
leave it-
technically to get to 12, you're only using 11 points and not 12, and
Oh, like your points used?
yeah.
You have to keep track of that.
Okay, but that still doesn't answer my question.
You mean your derived
So-
values?
If you look at my character sheet, right?
Mhm.
I've changed one of the values. To get to 12, I only had to spend 11 because I already had 1. Would I
Oh, yeah.
technically be spending 12 or would I be spending 11?
You'd be spending 12.
I think you're just required to spend at least 1 point in each of them.
At least, yeah. I don't. Unless we talk about something that you want to do for having a completely and utterly useless body, mind, or soul stat, you guys should have at least 1 in each.
Now, one
I
thing I,
don't
do
have
notice.
a body.
One thing I do notice is that changing the values does not change how many points you're available.
No, it doesn't auto track
No.
it. We
The
gotta.
math we
Yeah, no, it's the sheets are a little weird. Even the last time I played it, for some reason, it doesn't like to keep track on some things.
So you also mentioned that if we took a detriment, that we would get additional points.
Yeah. If you take flaws, depending on what the flaw is, you can get an extra, like, I believe it's an extra 1 or 2 points. For some reason, I couldn't find it in this book. So things like if you're completely deaf, that's an extra, like, 2 points on top of your 40 points, because that is a, I mean, it's going to be an issue. You're deaf. There's going to be a little bit of leeway there. Say you can't walk, you're in a wheelchair, that can be an extra 2 points as well, because I know we talked to Fringe about it. If stuff like maybe your character has high anxiety, that can count towards a flaw. Depending on the severity of the anxiety, it could be 1 to 2 points. If it's certain situations that are involved for your anxiety levels to just go right through the roof, there are extra points involved there. That would be something that we would have to talk about and come to terms with and figure out.
Okay, so
Together.
we discussed my defect earlier.
Yes. 2 points.
To go through all the exposition about this is anime's origins.
Setting
Yep.
question for you.
Yes.
So in the setting, is everything tech based? Is there tech magic like a Final Fantasy, or tech psionics like Star Wars?
Psionics. It's so whenever I was coming up with this story for you guys, I definitely did use Am I an idiot? I forgot the whole name of the movie.
Pacific Rim.
Pacific Rim. Thank you. I used Pacific Rim as the main. I don't know why I'm just like having a brain fart today. I used Pacific Rim as the main idea. You guys don't have giant mechs, and there's no like really. The setting's different, but like Pacific Rim, if you guys have ever heard of Warframe, where there are sort of mechs included in there, that's a good example. Now that you do say Star Wars, that could also be a good example. It really does depend on how you want to play it and how the skills are going to go. You do have tech. Normal human life, there are no like telepathy or like force push or anything like that.
Nothing that'd be considered a superpower.
Yeah, nothing that could be considered a superpower. Everything that you guys have ever seen that has like the speed is insane. The the moves, the teleporting from one spot to another has all been shown with the mechs.
In the machine or wood.
The machine. Okay.
But changes a little bit of what I'm going to do, but still good.
Perfect.
What about cybernetics? Like if I have a cybernetic arm or leg or head. Well, probably not head. That would be awkward.
That'd be a little weird.
So with the group, so if you had a cybernetic arm, like you had a arm, you've lost an arm, basically. Let me think on that. Give me a little bit to think on that, just to see, because the group you are with, they are the group that you guys work for. They're called the they're normally known as the Nether. You guys know the Nether, the Council. You guys know them as the Council of the Nether. These are the ones that pay you, house you, make sure you have constant training to do what you're able to do, make sure your mechs are up to grade, everything like that. You would definitely be able to get a cybernetic arm very easily. So having a more of a top of the line type of thing, you definitely would be able to do that. Sorry?
I was like, teacher?
Yes.
So just hopping back real quick, raising the core values is 1 point per increase.
For the body, mind, and soul?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, cool. Now I got to do math.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, every time you raise it by 1 point, you are using a point from your
okay, cool.
from your base points. Having a cybernetic arm, I'll give you an extra point for, because it works, it's connected, it's well taken care of. Anytime you need upgrades or fixing, they're there to help you with it. You should have no issues, and if you do have issues, it's a quick fix.
So what do we get to learn about this world that we will be jumping into?
The world setting. So I can tell you about a little bit right now. The way the world has been, nobody knew about. Where's my notes? And nobody knew about it until it was happening. The day it happened was a normal day when the portal on land opened far out into the water on a small island that nothing was really there for. The day it opened, the group that was watching over it entered. Nothing happened. Minutes passed. Hours passed. Days passed. There was nothing. It was weeks before the people that entered came back out. They had new knowledge. They had new ways to fight back. So, the first day, they were more or less known for, this is what we're going to use to win our wars. One day they came on live news, and the Council of the Nether, with a man named Axel Sommer, came forward and spoke about what was going to happen and what they were used for. You were introduced to the first main six. Orchid, run by the poster child Dahlia Valentine. Terra, run by Cordula Roma. Volt, run by Quinton Knoll. Trident, run by Lorcan Lynch. Pandora, run by Blythe Lee. And Carnage, run by Cadfael Hughes. These were the main six that were going to stay by the portal or go out when needed. Every mech has their own set of skills, their own look, but everything seemed to match pilot to mech perfectly. As time moved on, suddenly more portals were opening. But this wasn't the Council's doing. They were opening and all around the world. That's when the six split up. Every person had their own portal to watch over and their own group to work with. You guys were trained. You guys were given mechs, though over time you realized one by one you went through one mech, the link wasn't strong enough, you were switched to another one until you found the perfect mech you guys were lined up with. That's when you fought. That's anything that came through the portals, these weird fast shadow creatures, these weird almost metallic looking lumbering things coming forth and fighting, but never seeming to go anywhere besides around the portal. You stopped them all and shut them all down. There was one left now. This is the last one. This is where all of you are coming through, becoming a group, meeting and learning on each other, as well as the regular 6. This was where the portal was to be shut down. The 6 went in, 3 came out. They want you to go in to save who was lost or bring back their bodies and shut down this portal for good. Over time, you guys will have to figure out where's the best way to get in, where's the best way to get out, how the world is going to alter, because you've noticed when portals go down, the land dies. So when this portal goes down, what could happen? Because it's the biggest one. Axel is pushing you forward because, of course, he's got family in the 6. Dahlia, his niece, is in there, and she needs to be saved at all costs.
Do we know what's on the other side of these portals?
You guys have never entered. They've told you to stay out. Only some of the 6 has entered and come back. You can see into the portal. It's like a purple sort of sheen, but you've never seen past it. Anytime you've ever tried to get through, you've been stopped. The original 6 that went in are the first original people that went in and came back out. And that's why they were part of the main team. Each of you has trained under one of them. And then you will all be coming together. Maddie, you've trained under Pandora with Blythe. I'll do this right now. Decca, you trained under Volt, who is Quentin Knoll. Fringe, you trained under Terra, who is Cordula Roma. Jason, you trained under Orchid, who is Dahlia. And Raynor, you trained under Trident, who is Lorcan.
I only trained under one person.
Mm-hmm. You all had other group members. You weren't the only one that trained with the main 6. But over time, they have either stopped fighting because of either health issues. They've grown in age. They've been killed in combat. The only person who has lost their whole team was Cadfael, who piloted Carnage.
Interesting. I like it.
Perfect. I'm glad. That makes me happy. How are we looking at skills? Have you guys thought about any other skills yet?
Kind of.
Yeah.
I'm putting them. I'm doing like the math,
I'm doing the
which is
math.
going to be the hard part.
That's the main thing. It's always the math that will sometimes get you.
I'm tracking it as I go. Like I'm tracking it as I go. So what I've got for an idea is with her mech, I'm gonna go with healing and Bow Bunny, which is the reskin of the Gun Bunny.
Okay.
I'm taking 1 level in healing and then 2 levels in Bow Bunny, which gives me Deadeye and Steady Hand.
Okay.
So I take reduced penalties when attacking vital spots, and I take reduced penalties when moving, performing acrobatics, or otherwise attacking while in motion.
Oh. Okay.
That's currently where I'm at, and I'm blind except for when I'm in my mech. So I was like trying to get down to the skills, and I'm like, I don't know what there is for skills. This book is so big.
There are quite a lot of skills, and all of them are as fun as you think they are.
Yikes. I just saw archery, so that's probably where I'm just gonna noom.
How about we, instead of mechs, how about we talk about your pilots that are going to pilot these mechs? Have you guys thought about some of that? I know there's got to be a lot of thought going into the mechs, but you guys must have thought of...
I know what it looks like.
I've had two ideals that I wanted to kind of see what everybody else did before I settled on one.
Okay.
One is modeled after, I'm blanking on his name, the Chinese character in Gundam Wing, who is kind of the stereotypical, is the Chinese character is always kind of crazy that pops up in Japanese anime.
Okay.
Which would be, he would be more of the fighter type.
Okay.
More of the scrapper or tank. And then I was thinking about a kind of a gadgeteer type that she would be more support.
Okay.
So, but I'm kind of waiting to see what everybody else does, because like Maddie taking healing for her mech, that was something I was thinking of taking for Marigold.
Yep.
Have you read how the healing works?
No, I have not actually read the details on it.
Yeah, you get up to 20 HP restored at 2 points per minute, and you have to focus on it the entire time.
Yep. Let's take a look. Characters with this attribute can heal other individual injuries, but not their own. As well. So there's that. We've actually had, I know a couple of you have come and talked with me about what kinds of characters you're going to make, and I know a couple of you have thought along more of the supporty role.
So Sarah, what are you thinking support?
Everybody's thinking support.
Crazy dude he is.
But yeah, healing, so can heal other individuals' injuries but not their own. Higher levels repair massive trauma, such as limb loss or organs. And anime characters with healing powers include holy individuals, psychic healers, sorcerers, while mecha may be equipped with a high-tech medical bays with similar abilities. So you got a fanny pouch with band-aids in it.
Do you have something that would be like a repair skill? Like something that a mech could use to heal another mech kind of thing?
Mechanical genius, I think.
Just take that arm and slap it back on. It just pops back into the socket. It's fine.
Well, it's a robot, so it could be, yeah.
Put some duct tape on it, it'll be fine.
Magnets. That's all, just magnets.
Magnets. How to do?
Perfect.
Well, I actually wanted to play a rather interesting defected character, as V learned as I approached her. I'm actually basing my character off of a real person. His name is Desmond Doss, although my character will be Peter Doss. If no one knows who Desmond Doss is, he was a United States corporal. He served as a combat medic in World War II. But what made him really unique was that he went into war without a weapon. So he served in the army as a medic who didn't carry a gun at any time. So his job was to, protect and heal people. There was a
movie about him, right?
Yeah, I think there was one. But yeah, that's why I was building a character around that. My character is also a paraplegic, so he would not be able to walk. He has a wheelchair that he uses.
Now, if we're going through portals, are we controlling these mechs with remote controls? Are we inside the mech? Have we downloaded our minds into it? How does this work exactly?
So I know initially whenever I talked to you guys, it would be more of a what's that word?
Remote.
Kind of a remote control. You guys would be in a separate room. You'd be able to tap in with a helmet into the mechs, and you'd be fine. Over time, as the mechs have been fixed and done up, you will be inside of the mechs. At first, it was a mind link that you guys had. It's mostly like you fit in perfectly fine, comfortably. There's enough room for you to have a little bit of movement, and there's enough protection that if you get hit and tossed back, you're not like rocking your head back and forth on metal beams. It's not as spacious as you guys would think of, like with Pacific Rim. You don't need to be in this suit where your feet are in and you're moving the mech on your own. It's still mind linked, but it's just been the link has been known to be stronger the closer you are to the mech. So it was upgraded so that everybody could go in. So you'll be going through portals.
Okay.
The mech might give me another like foot, maybe tops.
How tall is your character, Deca?
Tall as fuck. No, I'm just kidding.
Again?
Okay, Ozzy.
No. No. I only have 2 character types: small as hell and tall as hell.
God bless. I love them.
There is no in between.
So, mech sizes. Let's talk about that really quickly.
Sure.
There are no mechs that are like perfectly like sized to your characters. You'll always notice that your mech will either be like 2 feet taller than you at shortest, and then depending on how tall you are as a character, you can see up to maybe like 12 feet, 13 feet tall mechs.
So we're talking more a diva versus like a Big O.
Mhm.
Okay. I'm old, guys.
Yes. You guys all you are strapped in. There's like a little seat that you can sort of sit yourself into. It's not like an actual chair. It's more like a angle that you guys are comfortable in.
It's like this.
Helmet. Yeah, you're not like in with a game controller. I mean, unless you want a game controller, which is like
So for
Okay.
skills,
yes.
it doesn't state how many per level you would take or you would have.
Actually, there's a weird table that I tried asking V about earlier.
Yes. Okay, sorry. What table? Please remind me on that.
I'll get it to you here in a minute. Because it depended on the setting that the
Page
skills
119.
would be all over the place.
119. Okay. So teenage romance space opera. General. Oh, these are just okay. Character.
What about Cute Fuzzy Seizure Monsters?
Cute fuzzy.
Which was an actual book they published for the game.
Wow.
I mean, I guess.
It doesn't give you any disc.
Or maybe it was Cute Fuzzy Cockfighting Seizure Monsters. I forget.
That's the one.
Can you just say
Well, we had that discussion on your game, one of your games.
Oh, that's right, when we were looking for the books, yeah.
Yeah.
Alright, so I'm going to do a combat monster.
range defense level 1, 5 points. Okay, so sorry, what was the question about the table? Just remind me of that. Because I'm a fool.
The table was which one did we want to use as the baseline for our game? Since that will change.
The baseline, yeah, it would be space opera now that I'm looking at it, but I'm not going to limit you guys to those points, or those level caps. If you want to have the first thing that shows as acrobatics and it shows a 3, if you guys want to have more levels than just 3,
No,
you're
that's
more than
the cost
welcome.
per level.
I'm
That's
pretty
the-
sure
it's
each
the
skill
point
has
cost.
a cost on it as well.
It doesn't.
I'm about to fight because
If you
I've
scroll
been
down,
seeing.
if you scroll down and just look at them, there's no point cost at all. Those are the point costs. That's what it costs per level.
Mm-hmm.
Hold up, wait a minute. Let me use my eyes. That I never have. Let's be honest.
Legolas, what do your elvish eyes see?
Nothing, ever. Never get me to roll a perception check. Unless I have a robe of eyes.
Yeah, true. Get that sweet, sweet advantage.
A sweet, sweet advantage. Okay, looking at character creation. Body, normal, page 20. 1 point per level. Okay, 1 to 2 points per level. Okay, so yes, use those points per level because now I realize what you mean. Because I was looking at the actual skill lists and not stuff like acrobatics and stuff like that.
Okay, okay.
So yes, use those.
All right.
Oh, just happened to come past the. I found the defects.
Hey.
Let me make sure I'm understanding this correctly. So it says on page 117, we'll get 20 points for skills plus 10 additional points for each level of highly skilled, correct?
Skill point costs. Okay. Sorry. All their skills only require 1 skill points. Here's the guide. Yes. Okay. It's appropriate for skills that are mainly used to flesh out character backgrounds, but okay, sorry. Repeat your question, Ray. Or repeat what you said about them, because my mind just blanked.
So just making sure that you're using the base book rule. So on 117 it says we'll get 20 points to spend on skills, 10 points for every point we put into highly skilled. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Alrighty, I'm pretty sure I did my character. I did.
Okay.
Right.
Well, now you're on
He's,
the spot, Duncan. You got to tell them about us.
Oh, sure, absolutely. Alright. My boy's name is Cortav, and I'll spell it out here in a sec.
Yeah.
'Cause
Please remember, I
I-
still have to put names on this overlay.
Yeah, you do. There.
Why?
It's his thing. I don't know.
I love it.
Decca,
I
I
could
love
give you the. No, you
Fuck
don't.
you.
Not right now. No, you don't. There's no love over there. So he's a human, obviously. He's got the anime blue spiky hair.
Okay.
It's not straight up like Promare. Like that. Yeah, I know you watched it. It's not that. It's like short spikes. It's like a businessman who's trying to be like, hip with the kids. A Hot Topic manager.
God bless. Okay.
He has a scar that goes like that because it's anime, and of course he does. Otherwise, pretty featureless. He has green eyes, and other than that, pretty featureless.
Okay.
His mech, is is basically shit. I had it. It's he calls it the grid space Leviathan, even though it's not that much bigger than. And he attacks via submachine gun. He's got points into flight. He's got points into speed. He's got points into dimensional portal.
Oh, okay. Oh, he's
He
gonna be
always
fun.
gets home.
Always gets home. Grid Space
So-
Leviathan. That's fun. Okay.
He's a speedy, or he's a faster than average boy because I didn't have that points.
Oh. Okay. How did you? What was your
Like speed
mindset on your body, mind, and stats? Would I noticed I'm looking at your values here, and you put 7, 7, and 12.
Yeah. That was originally like 9, 12,
Mm-hmm.
but I did the sliding scale. I was like, I'm really dead set on soul 12,
Mm-hmm.
but everything else was kind of.
So he's got the
I
highest.
realized that, yeah. Even though I'm not using it.
So highest soul stats. So you've got best in the universe, unequaled, and then we've got highly capable for both body and mind. So honestly, pretty like whenever you think about it, it's. I mean, you're better than the average human. You're doing great for a Hot Topic manager.
He is the
Perfect.
hot topic Avenger.
I actually have a picture of him.
Oh, perfect.
Topic Spirit Paragon.
I have had this character for 20 years, in some way, shape, or form.
Okay.
Let me see if it's on this. It's on this machine. Otherwise, I mean, I'm statted out. His mech is blue that matches his hair, because of course it does. And it's very sleek. It's made to accentuate his running and gunning, as it were.
Okay. Have you thought about any defects for him? Maybe. I just want to know and double check.
Yeah. I haven't thought of any.
Okay.
Because when I originally made this character when I was like 16, he was pretty like every 16-year-old writing fan fiction. He was kind of a Mary Sue.
Oh. Okay. Now, I mean, I'm asking about defects because if you guys do take defects, there are extra points that are involved for that. It's not mandatory for you guys to take defects. It's also not mandatory that you need to take all the defects. So, I had this conversation whenever I was talking about defects once where somebody was like, yeah, I've got about 4 or 5 defects. And I was like, are you functioning? Are you okay in real life? Like, is this character good? Does he need a nap? Just because sometimes it can get a little bit out of hand if you take too many defects.
I have 3 defects that I'm going to put on my character. They're kind of cross between the mech and him, since we're doing both. You know, one of them, restricted ground movement, because he's wheelchaired. Yep. He's paraplegic.
Yep.
I did actually find tack restriction. Remember, he's a 7-day Adventist, so he can't. He will not attack.
Okay.
So he would have strong restrictions to attack, and that it could be +2 or +1 depending on your opinion. But he would not attack himself.
He would not attack. +2.
Okay. And then the last one, and since this is a recovery mission, I thought, well, this makes sense for his character if I'm basing it on Desmond Doss. He would have an awkward size to his mech because on his back would be med pods to recover the bodies or the person.
Okay.
In the rift. So his mech would be awkward size and probably would have a reduction in speed, but it would be able to carry the other people's, basically a gigantic backpack on his mech.
Okay. So awkward size.
I looked at it. It said mechs would be like a +1 because it's a mech.
Yeah.
And if the mech can handle it.
Yep, you can take a +1 for that. That would make sense. And see, that's another thing to think of whenever you're like sort of thinking of defects. Not to go. You've thought of reasons for the defects. It's not just like you're taking all these things because you're like, oh yeah, that's gonna make for an interesting. Well, like it does make for an interesting thing, but you're not taking stuff like. That's really it's a hindrance, but you also have reasons that it's not a hindrance and it's actually going to push and help move forward. That's really good.
Yeah, I figured since this is a recover mission, we need to recover people or bodies, so he would at least have life support pods for those who are alive, or caskets, I guess.
We just got getting life support.
You guys all have basic life support in your mechs. So there's like, you guys don't have to worry about things like that. I'm not going to force you to take life support when it's going to be part of the mech. The one thing I did talk about whenever it did come to life support was depending on how deep or how like down you want to go kind of thing. So like, I don't know, say you guys you've decided to go way up into the sky for space or something. There are things that are going to be moving against you and stuff like that. Y'all don't need to go to space. You don't know where you're
come
going.
Up in the story is what you're telling us.
You don't know that.
Yes, exactly. Well, I'm going to tell you guys right now, and if you do want to take some points in life support, you are more than welcome. But you guys all have a sort of basic life support with the mechs.
And we decided we weren't doing the mech points, right?
Yes, no mech points.
Okay.
With how you guys have been working it out and doing it out, points are going to be necessary.
Okay. Is there some kind of thing I should get for the med pods, or
For the
Probably
med
just-
pods, no. I think you
since technically they'll be part of my mech, I don't know if. I mean,
Yeah.
technically I'm getting a point for it. I don't know if it would just cancel out with something that I should get. Because if I had to, I could capture one of them and put it into one of the med pods. But I think my character would have at most 3, since we had 3 lost souls.
So your mech has already you guys already have life support in your mech, so the pods will actually draw off the life support on your mech.
Okay.
So that's fine. It evens out perfectly. You have a larger mech, so there's more working through the mech. That's going to help keep the life pods. If the life pods detach, if you want to design the mech so that they can be detached and move to another location just for safety if there's a fight going on, I'm gonna say they have 2 to 3 hours of life support on their own.
Okay.
So 2 to 3 hours, you can reattach them, and the life support will kick back in whenever it comes in time with your.
Sounds good.
So we've got Deca. We talked about Fringe Course for a little bit. Raynor, Jason, how you guys doing?
Let's see. I've got my baseline stats picked out,
Okay.
and I'm going through picking. I guess it's the attributes I'm putting this stuff under. So I've taken combat mastery, extra attacks, massive damage,
Oh gosh.
sensors.
Tank knife.
You're gonna be a good hit boy. Or
Well,
girl.
if a bunch of other people are doing support,
Mhm.
they need somebody to support.
Might as well be me while I'm beating something up.
Might as well.
Sure, why not?
Hell.
Ooh, size change. I could become a really big boy.
Yep.
Ant-Man.
Aha!
I was thinking more Ultraman, but whichever. Some variety of man, you know.
Some variety of man, some suffix.
This is what I've got so far.
Oh, I totally lied. His eyes are blue. Now that I'm looking at the trigger.
Mind, body, soul. Okay.
So basically, the character is a fast business person. So they've got extra wealth. They've got a robot flunky. So I do have some support stuff, but combat mastery and extra attack and Kensai means that I'll be a pretty good close-up fighter.
Okay.
I'm taking a look to see what the best way to design the yo-yo would be.
Okay.
So I'm just trying to figure that out. And I've got a question for you.
Yes.
If I wanted my character to be an inventor, do I take that as unique attribute?
Inventor for unique attributes. Let's go take a look.
Basically, I want to be able to jury rig in the field.
We mechanical
Okay.
genius.
I think Mechanical Genius would be in your interest there.
Oh, maybe.
Mm-hmm. Mechanical genius would work.
I posted the picture of the dude, by the way, and
Oh, it's a baby headshot.
yeah, it's
Oh, he's gonna do great things. Yep, mechanical genius. If you take things like mechanical genius, you'll have like your mech will have all the extra sort of units with it that will give it a chance if you want to delve into something that you've noticed. Hey, that's something I could deal with, maybe.
Now, what kind of strength do the mechs have on their own?
I was about to say I'm not gonna say basic. Let's go take a look at the strengths. at strength really quick, and I will tell you guys what stat you'll have.
I know when we own a mech, it's 40 life for the mech's base life stats.
Yeah.
I didn't know if we were just using our actual life stats, and then we could get things like toughness and such to add to it.
Yep. Well, yeah, that's like your body stat will be mainly what sort of toughness, or not toughness, but like the sort of strength that you would have. You can have a mech that really does not have a lot of strength if you want it to be that way. So if you're going like a tank or something like that, you more than likely would be or like a fighter along the lines. Your body stat would probably be better off at like a 7 or an 8.
Yeah, I've already got it at a 7. But I mean, does the mech have its own stats, or are we just using the character's stats?
No, you're using the character stats.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry.
I ran across a super strength.
Yep. If you want to take
Thing, so I
super
was looking at
strength and have that be part of your mech, you are. Because super strength, yeah. Characters are far stronger than their body stat indicates. So super strength, if you were to use it, yeah, your body stat would of course double basically because of it.
And plus 10 close combat damage.
Mm-hmm. Each level also grants a -4 bonus body stat checks when
No,
pure
it says
strength is
cost 2 or 3 points per level.
Yep. So 2 or 3. Let's see. I'll say 2. 2 per level.
Oh wait, there's some at the end of the write-up. Super strength normally applies to a character's entire body, costing 3 points. If applicable only to a single limb, for example, having one bionic arm and one normal arm, rather than the body in general, it's 2 points. Okay.
So, body. Some of the best.
It's just with the arm he punches with.
Just with the arm he punches with. He's got one big arm and one little arm.
The
little arm holds the gun.
I gotta go find those arm wrestlers, where they're like huge right arms and their arms so tiny.
Yep.
Wait, nope, I didn't need attacks. I still needed.
I call this one thunder. I call this one lightning.
Little thunder, the light.
Like, wouldn't thunder be the punching one? Just because it brings the boom.
The other one has the gun.
That's true. Depends on if it's a loud gun, then I guess. It's just a bazooka in your tiny arm. How are you doing, Maddie?
I'm doing alright. I'm just slowly working on getting this stuff all together.
Yep.
I know, right?
That's the fun of character creation. Have you thought about your like pilot?
No.
You're like, I don't care about her.
I'm still
I
working
care about
on
the
it.
Nick.
She has no personality. She is nothing without her mech, and her mech is nothing without her.
Yes?
That's extremely anime. I like it.
I think it was from. I think I was stealing that from Apocalypse Now.
You were, but Apocalypse Now is also like the most gritty anime out there.
No, I'm just
Really
trying to
think about it.
I'm just trying to get things set up. Like, under attacks, I'm gonna have the bow, but it's just like,
I'm trying to decide: do I want sword? Do I want energy blades coming out of the back of the hands? Do I want a scythe?
and if we give levels to the bow in attacking, is that going to consume the points that we have?
So you've got 1 point in bow. I'm looking at your sheet right now. If you put it up to level 2, yes, you will be using a point that you have.
Okay.
So if your points are completely taken up, you can't level it up.
Besides level 1. Okay,
Sorry.
no. If that's the case, I just gotta change something. That's fine.
Let me look over this really quick because level and cost are something. Cost 2. Sorry, no. You would need an extra 2 points to make that level 2. Sorry, that's my fault. So you've got it at level 1, and the cost is 2
Yep,
at level
I'm
1.
going to fix it.
4 to level 2.
All right.
So I'm kind of curious, since I'm talking about this,
Mhm.
since using the core values are going to be represented towards our mech mostly, yeah?
So you and your mech are bond. Like, you guys are. If you don't want to fight, your mech is not going to attack either, unless you
Well, I'm trying to figure out
will
health
it do.
points is the big thing, because there's 2 different ways of doing this. One, I can do something like damn healthy, which then, for every 1 point you increase your hit points, or I can go toughness for my mech, which is 4 points for 10 hit points.
Yep.
So I'm curious, how do we assign hit points to our mechs?
So,
And us?
your hit points will be the mech's hit points.
All right, so I'll just
If
use.
if your mech goes down to 0, you're not necessarily taking, like, you'll take some damage as a pilot in the mech, yes. But you also, depending on where you are and when you go down in your mech, you don't have the life support that your mech carries outside of your mech. So if you guys are in the Nether, might start suffocating just a little bit.
Now, under the weapon attacks or special attacks,
Yes.
So we'll do.
it basically takes a level to take one of the weapon attributes.
Okay.
What does muscle powered mecha only give me?
Mecha only. Okay.
Yes.
That are listed as mecha only and mecha. Okay. Sorry, I'm just double checking what page it was on. 59? Okay, let's see. Attributes. Test pending. Why am I reading about organizational ties? Sorry, you were looking at mecha only stuff. Sorry, you were looking at what were you looking at? Sorry again,
All
Jason?
right. I was looking at the weapon attacks or special attacks on page 83.
Oh, 83. There we go. That's my
You have a
issue.
list of attributes that you can add to the weapon that essentially cost level. Every level gives you a 15-point damage to your attack.
Okay.
If you take an attribute, it reduces it by 15 points.
Yeah.
And one of them was muscle powered, and then in parentheses behind that it said mecha only.
Oh, so that would be something like if we were doing something along the lines of like magical girl, and you wanted to take muscle powered as like a weapon attack attribute, you would technically need to be a mecha or have a mecha to take muscle powered. That's basically what that's trying to say, but muscle powered is supposed to.
Now, I assume
I
that means my strength check or my
Yeah.
strength body stat factors in some kind of way.
Yeah.
And I'm wondering how it factors in.
Yeah. Let me see if I can find it, because I know I read this before for the muscle powered, but it I believe it's just an extra ability.
Oh, wait, I found muscle powered.
Because it should
A
have.
mecha or character may add any damage bonus from the super strength attribute to the attack's basic damage. But that's what super strength gives you anyway.
Mhm.
Just having super strength gives you a plus 10 to your attack.
$74.
And if super strength gives you 10 points of damage, but taking muscle power reduces 15 points of damage, that there's no reason to ever do that.
Yep.
And I think these guys went out of business because they didn't have editors.
Probably.
This
I know this is definitely this isn't like of course we're using the older editions too. Just second edition was something I was used to whenever I played, so it was like easier to go into this than anything.
Second was great for quick play. Third fixed a lot of the balance issues in second, but second is still a favorite for a lot of people just because it was really quick to play.
Yep.
It plays up really nicely.
Okay.
And the next time we play, we'll be able to meet the mechs unless everybody's got an idea and a description for the mechs right now. I know we talked with Becca about it for a bit there. For Grid Space Leviathan. Which is that's a great name. I'll never not get over that name, Decca. Beautiful.
Attack is ha AF.
What is your attack, Jason?
I am debating on having some sort of energy blades out of the back of his hands. Or maybe a giant scythe. I'm up in the air.
Wow.
Hmm.
No matter what, every time I DM something, I'm always like, Jason always hits like a goddamn truck. Doesn't matter if it's Monster of the Week or Big Eye Small Mouth now. The biggest hitter. It's
I don't
great.
know.
I love it.
Skippy didn't hit particularly hard.
Well, yeah, Skippy did it. But I don't think he needed to hit hard. He had
You weren't in the Strahd game.
No, listen.
Quintrell could hit hard depending on how much of his resources he wanted to put into it.
Oh.
But I ended many a combat in that game with like 2 or 3 HP and maybe 1 psi point left.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
We kept running into the problem where our healer kept getting put to sleep or knocked unconscious.
Oh.
Yeah, Atlas kept getting knocked out.
It's just nap time. It's just gentle baby nap time.
And then the one time that it was both Atlas and Quintrell getting knocked out, the only reason Rollin and Aethlin stayed up is because they're both fucking, they're elves and literally cannot be put to sleep magically. And then they were left to fight Baba Lysaga by themselves, and neither
Baba
could.
Lysaga.
Yep. And
Baba
neither
Lasagna.
God damn it! Would you believe me if I told you that was the first thing Atlas said when Cap said what her name was?
Yep.
Baba Lasagna.
Could Atlas not make it to this game? I was sure she'd want to play Big Eyes.
We have not heard from Atlas, so we wish them well and hope they're doing great. But many messages from many people have been sent out and none have gotten a response, so we're just hoping that they're very busy and pursuing their hopes and dreams.
Their best.
Also, I have somewhat decided on a character concept. Don't
Tell me
ask
about
me a
it.
name because I haven't got that far yet. But she's a social media influencer who has a fairly large following.
You and Dahlia are gonna get along great.
Yay. Mostly because, like, a big part of it is because she's blind.
Okay.
So, people really, like, understand that when she says, like, something feels right, or, you know, the only description she can ever give is descriptions based on, sight. But she has somebody who helps her coordinate colors so that she's never dressed in something absolutely obnoxious. Color-wise.
Okay.
So she's a social media influencer, and she basically spends all of her time doing that. She goes to shows, she's a model, and pilots a mech when needed,
When needed.
which recently has been a lot. So,
I like it a lot.
So
Just,
basically, for the last, basically since being chosen and being part of the mech grounds, the moment you started being a mech, a lot of your social media presence.
disappeared.
Oh yeah.
But she still posts when she can. She posts updates like, you know, hey, still fine, everything's good.
Takes a blind selfie with your mech.
I was
She
gonna
does.
say, yeah.
She does. She absolutely takes a blind selfie with her mech, and it's her most liked picture on social media to date. Mostly because she's missing half of her face and missed like 35% of her mech.
We've all taken that selfie.
She's perfect.
Because she can't see, right? So, and then, you know, a lot of her equipment is all set up to be voice operated because she can't see. So her phone is keyed to her voice, so carefully that it would take a very, very good replica to break into it.
Ooh, girl got magnet.
All of a sudden we hear that, it's like, oh my gosh.
I love that was the tail end of what I was saying. Thank you. That was fantastic. And then I've got... So she's definitely more of a ranged fighter with support capabilities.
Okay.
I have taken... I'm using the bow as my weapon of choice. I have 1 level in healing, 2 levels in bow bunny for Deadeye and Steady Hand. I've got 1 level in focus damage just to help increase what I can do for damage from range. So the focus damage is my ability to hit crucial points of whatever it is I'm attacking with my bow.
Perfect.
And then my 2 skills are archery and acrobatics, so that I can, you know, do the Warframe thing where you run up alongside of a wall and shoot your bow at the same time, because why not?
Beautiful.
With the caveat that when I'm outside of my mech, I am completely blind.
Okay.
Is that okay?
No, that's good.
Okay.
Me staring at the screen like, yes. No, she's good.
And I did toss
She's
a photo
beautiful.
of something I just quickly threw together. I'm actually gonna draw something, but as a basis, this is what she looks like out of mech. And she has a little kitty, and the kitty's name is Shadow. Still working on a name for her and her mech, but I'm working on it.
That's what matters.
The Shadow Bat.
I chose Pandora, correct?
Yes. You have Blythe.
All right. Still working on it for mine. I haven't put them up yet into my character sheet. Of course, this is subject to change. So, looking at more of a so for his body is 3, his mind is 6, his soul is 4. So
Okay.
a little weak on the body, but stronger in the mind and average soul. For the core, I put damn healthy, so he gets. I put 4 levels into that, so he gets 40 extra hit points.
Okay.
Heavy armor 1. Force field wall type, so that it makes basically a partial wall. So it would be up to mech midway, I believe. So it's kind of like cover.
Okay.
I put 3 levels into that. So, and because it's a wall type, it would be 2 points per level. So it'd be 6 points. He has a shield on his mecha itself, which I put up to 4.
Okay.
I put some mechanical genius into him as well, so he can fix his mech in the emergency or the med pods. I put 2 points into highly skilled, so he has 20 additional skill points. And I put healing on him as well, except the healing is only limited to the med pods.
Okay.
So that he put 2 levels into that. Basically, what would work, how I figure this, is that in his mech, they gave him basically a nanopod creator inside that creates healing nanites.
Okay.
That would be injected into the pods if there is a survivor. Now, they can't resurrect someone or they can't fix super organ damage. But, if they are, injured, got a cut or anything, he can activate it, but the med have to go into a system, have to shut down to focus on
A
that.
stasis almost.
Yeah, because it would take a lot of energy for it to make the nanites and then process the nanites into the pods and then recycle the nanites. So it makes sense with the time, how long it takes to put it. And then for his skills, I put medical, mechanic, melee defense, and range defense for his skills, which I'll divvy up the points.
Perfect.
So,
All right.
And I think I'm up to all my points, but I'll do a double check on all my counts, and I'll put it up once I have it all finished, counted.
Perfect.
Because
That
math.
works. His math.
We have a specific area that we're all from.
Sure, I can tell you my character story.
If you, sorry, really quickly, French, before you get into that,
Mhm.
you are all from different places. You are all from different places, if you guys so desire, where you were born and raised and everything like that. When the mech program started, and they were saying, they were like, basically anyone and everyone come forward. Everyone was tested on some sort of level when it came time to figuring out who would be able to one pilot and one who would be able to work with which mech. You guys noticed whenever you came forward, even if you were just like, I'll never get chosen. You tested through a bunch of different type of mechs. And then whichever mech you guys now have, the mech you guys pilot. They never really told you why. They just figured, like, skill-wise, background-wise, no matter who you were or what you were, no matter if you were blind and an influencer, no matter if you were in a wheelchair and you refused to fight, you were chosen and you were put with these mechs. Everybody had that decision. You guys were shipped off to different areas whenever time came. Some of them could have just been in your hometown. Like, you got chosen here, there's a portal here, you were chosen to stay here. Otherwise, you were chosen in one place or shipped off to another place. And then maybe shipped off to another place. But now you are all at the base portal, which is where none of you guys are from. That's that. You can go ahead now, French. Sorry.
Okay. I'll just give you an idea what my character is, since I don't know if we are doing character introductions right now or not, but I figured we might know each other.
Yeah, we can. You guys know each other now. Whether you guys are like best friends, kind of thing. That's up to you guys. How your characters are working together. You are all a group now, and you have some of the main 6 that are still here that are helping you guys fight as well. But a lot of your other team members that you guys have actually worked with are working on other things, or they're not in mechs anymore. Their mechs were damaged and they're no longer pilotable,
Mhm.
so on and so forth. But
So my character's name is Peter Doss. He's a paraplegic. He is skilled in mechanical and medical field. He went into medical school first, but always had an interest in machinery and such. He was going to be an EMP, but then a accident happened where he was working on a car and it fell on him, and well, that's why he's paraplegic. So he is a 7-day Adventist. I can't say the name today. I had it earlier, but I'm brain farting. But it's
Seventh-day Adventist.
That's it. I had it earlier, but I'm kind of stumbling my words. So he's a vegetarian. He doesn't eat meat. He believes in the Sabbath being on a Saturday. He would never carry a weapon, and when he was chosen, that would be reflected in his mech, which is a Guardian class. I haven't dubbed a name for it yet, but basically, the Guardian class mech would be more tanky, but it would not have any outward attacks. It's more of a support class. It has a shield generator on it, and it's been modified for this mission to have the nanite healing pods attached to the back. And it's only, other than the force field, it has a shield. It's basically a humanoid shape mecha with a shield. And his duty is to make sure that they get either the bodies or the actual living people back from the portal. So that's basically my character.
Tom's a scouty.
What?
I said Cortav's a scouty boy.
a scouty boy. So
Yeah.
okay.
He's got a good sense for. He's got a good sense for using his eyes and I believe they picked him. They picked him because he tested for a lot of potential. It's something he fucking hates.
You've got a lot of potential. Let's do this.
It's how I justify him having 12 soul. He just has a lot of potential. He can do things.
They
Maybe.
told you have a lot of potential. The instant your face is just like, I hate that. The potential.
I don't like this.
Perfect. Beautiful. How we doing between Maddie and Jason?
Horrible.
Oh no.
I've spent all my points and then flipped the page. Skills. Oh yeah. There are those.
I think
Oh,
I'm all
man.
set. At this point, I'm just working on what I want my frame, like what I want my mech to look like.
Okay.
And I'm definitely going after something more akin to Warframe because of what she wants to be able to do.
Okay.
So it'll be a smaller mech, it'll be much more humanoid, and it'll be pretty quick.
Mhm.
I'm just trying to
I
find
think
what
my
I
mech.
like.
I think mine kind of just go. It pretty much just goes over his body. It's he kind of looks like Dragoon armor from Final Fantasy.
Okay.
Very pointy.
Pointy. Sharp. When he gives a hug, he also stabs you.
Yeah.
Let me just crush you with my chest knives. Fantastic. Beautiful.
It's like pointy at the top and then very angular getting to the point.
Okay. Very good. See, mechs are fun when you can design your own mech. Me sitting over
Yeah.
here trying to design like 6.
Plus, when you look online and see if people have already designed some and just steal their design.
Yeah, there's that too. I found. Listen, one of the mechs is looks so like this. This is it's based off of a Warframe. Somebody's like fan made Warframe, but this is Pandora's. This is Blythe's mech, Pandora. This was she based off of. She's sharp.
I think I might use Limbo Prime as my basis for
Got a
for
top
her
hat?
mech. Except
Okay.
instead of the images with Limbo, I'll have him with a rapier, but instead of having a rapier, it's gonna be a bow
Mm-hmm.
and a very specific hat because I hate the hat that he's got.
It's a top hat.
Yeah, but I
How
actually
about-
spent money and supported one of the
Designers?
creators. Yeah. And
Oh
is
yes, I know
the
exactly
tricorn
who
hat.
you're talking about.
Yeah. They do
Exactly
such
who
good
you're
work.
talking about.
But yeah, so it'll probably be that hat, but with the Limbo Prime look.
Mm-hmm. I have those shoulder pieces.
Hmm?
I have those shoulder pieces.
So that's my current intention. I'm gonna try and draw something up this week.
I use them for my Trinity.
I did pick a name for both the mech and the character though.
Yes. Tell us
So,
names.
She is Japanese, and her name
Okay.
is Yazawa Chiyo,
Okay.
and her mech's name is Revenant.
Revenant. Edgy.
Yeah!
I like it.
Super edgy considering what she is.
Maddie has one type of character.
I mean, Maddie's edge is so sharp.
I
Yeah,
cut
it
myself
really
with
is.
it constantly.
That's not the shoulder pieces I was thinking of, but that's one of my Warframes. She good angel.
And we're using space opera as far as the
Yes.
prices. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Spoos opera.
So it sounds like you might need to take some more defects there, Jason, just to get yourself some more points.
I've taken a couple. I don't want to take too many.
I don't know. I'm looking at something like that. Skills
Okay.
actually run off their own points, by the way.
Oh, did they?
Do they?
Yeah. Yeah, I thought you get 20 based right off the bat, and then if you get extra skills, like I did, you get more.
If skills are used, starting characters will normally receive 20 skill points plus an additional 10 skill points for each level of the highly skilled attribute. Okay. So you have your own pool for character knowledges and stuff. Okay.
Yes.
Wait,
Well,
Well, okay, then I'm fine.
so the 5 points I have in skills don't actually count to what I've got right now. And I still have
Right.
5
Apparently,
points
skill
to
points
distribute.
are not your build points.
No, they're not your build points.
Okay, then I gotta switch
Well, well,
You're welcome.
I didn't hear the question being thrown. I could answer it. I'm sorry.
well, we are just gonna talk.
Nobody's complaining about this, V. Nobody's complaining.
No, you're good.
Yeah,
Me
no, you good.
Sweating.
You good. I'm just gonna
Everyone's
go
Woohoo.
re-put some of the points that I had in
Everybody's
other
just like,
places.
points. You guys do that. I will be right back.
So my bow is now up to a level 3. And I
Nice.
brought focus damage up to 2.
Fun.
So attributes go with the other.
What?
Attributes go with the original pool of points.
Yes.
Yeah.
Attributes and your attacks pull from your pool of points.
Okay.
Your skills have their own, which means I can go pick more skills. Nani desu ka?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I have 4 of them. I would recommend probably getting, since you're going ranged, I probably would maybe recommend either getting ranged defense or melee defense,
Ah, there it is.
or
Performing arts.
attacks.
Oh, good.
And you got archery, I guess,
Yeah, I've got archery.
but definitely some
Okay, cool.
defenses might be good. Add some extra,
Okay.
you know.
Awesome.
Protection.
Skills, however,
I should also. I should probably take social sciences as well, considering what I am.
Cultural arts. That's another one.
No, you're just like every other influencer that's just awkward as fuck when you meet them in real life. Okay.
Yeah, I think
All
cultural
right.
arts fits better. That's a good call.
Because then you know, oh, I know the hottest TikTok. You know, things like that. Space opera. Woo, mechanics are high point, babies. At least medical's a little cheaper.
Where the frick is my calculator? 20 points.
So
Minus
those
4,
back.
plus 3.
Attributes.
I think cultural arts had a mind. Yikes, that is a hefty one, but we're gonna take it.
Which one's that?
Range defense.
Yeah, that's probably a good one to have.
Yeah, it's a pretty heavy cost.
Yep, 5 points. 5 skill points. Sheesh. But having a few of that. But I'm trying to also compensate for mine for having all this armor and shielding and such.
How are we doing?
Good.
Oh, just picking up skills.
Okay, good. Okay. Perfect. Beautiful. So many. Gotta take all the skills possible.
Well, I got 4, so I think that may be enough.
I'm having way too much fun with mech design.
As you should.
Mechanical transformation. So I've got fighter mode, which is your biped that, in my case, fights with the big yo-yo, but it also transforms into a big walking gun.
Mm.
Everyone gangsta as the gun starts walking.
Sorry. I can only think of one image at the moment when you said walking gun.
Little gun, little legs.
Yes.
Yep, and it's
Yeah.
in Discord.
Yeah.
Yes.
A baby.
Pew, 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 pew.
He's perfect.
Everybody gangsta till the gun starts walking.
Everybody thinks it's cute until the gun starts shooting.
You know what? I should probably also take business management.
You're an influencer. You have no business sense.
That's
Oh shit.
not true in the slightest.
Maddie, you went to school for accounting. Just because you got it doesn't mean everybody else got it.
I mean, I can choose to make my character not be a dumbass when it comes to business.
I'm just teasing, is all.
I'm not.
You're
Got him.
Hey.
Performing arts is 1 point.
There are so many skills and so many abilities, and so little time, and so few points.
Unless you get like a crap ton of highly skilled.
Of highly skilled, yeah.
which I got
Wow.
20 points.
Look, I'm just resisting
Oops.
the urge to take gaming.
No.
Do we need the pilot skill for our mechs?
No. You guys have been trained in that. You guys have the, like, basic sense on how to pilot your mechs. You don't need to take it. Unless you're doing something fancy and you want to take it. I'm going to tell you, you don't need to.
Oh, by the way, just for
Yes.
some people to realize, if you have Mechanical Genius, you do get some bonus skills automatically. Depending on the level of your Mechanical Genius. I believe it's Electronics and Mechanic that increases. Just in case people are like, ooh, I want some of that.
Every 2 levels of Mechanical Genius round up. Also add +1 level to Electronics and Mechanic skills.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm good. Everything is now fixed.
You have made your decisions.
Yes.
Though I will say, Mechanical Jesus does sound like something that would come out of an anime.
Honestly, we've got an anime where it's Jesus and Buddha.
Go
No,
ahead.
there's one.
Yeah, as roommates or something. I've never
Yeah,
seen it.
as roommates. Yeah.
There's a Mechanical Jesus just sounds like a Depeche Mode song.
I mean, you never know. Y'all might meet Mechanical Jesus. Welcome to the Nether.
That would be freaky.
Oh, sounds like something out of Futurama.
yeah, that could be. Yeah. That's the big bow attack. That's a lot of damage.
I have 3 levels in it. I damn well hope so.
I can't wait to see Jason's damage. Me making enemies more difficult because Jason does all the damage in the world.
I've got 3 levels of the special attack. So that's 3 damage. Plus 10 points of super strength.
Now I gotta write all this crap
How do you
down.
make these attacks roll anyway?
There is a little dice right, like, up next to the...
Oh, okay.
where it says name.
I sees it.
Oh, you rolled a 1
Relevant
in it.
stat.
Oh, you rolled a 1 and a 6.
Okay, so if I do that. Oh, that's the attack roll, not damage, though.
Do you have your damage filled out? Because there's a section that's literally labeled attacks.
Oh, okay. No, I don't have that done yet. Okay.
Yeah.
That'll be where that gets handled. All right. Back to my skills.
It's going to be fun
Mm-hmm.
because I'm playing an interesting handicap.
The lowest I can roll on acrobatics is an 11.
11. God.
The absolute lowest I can roll on acrobatics is an 11.
Note to self: make everything harder.
Please don't. I mean,
No,
everything
I'm kidding.
should be difficult because you said that this is supposed to be a high power thing anyway.
Yeah, no,
So-
I'm just saying. Note to self. No, I know you guys are gonna do very well, more than likely. I have no doubts that no one will die.
You
Yeah.
say that, and then something goes horribly wrong.
I mean, I said that for Monster of the Week, and then Maddie almost died. So
Yeah.
Maddie just kept. Hey, at least you kept getting experience with those botched rolls.
Right? I think I wound up being the highest level player in the campaign because I could not roll for shit
Because you kept fucking up, basically.
No,
That's what
no,
that
no,
is.
because everything
Nope.
I tried to do, I had to roll with cool, which had a -2 modifier on it, because I was always fucking 30 seconds from breaking down over the fact that my family was missing.
No, I'm saying Wednesday nights.
Oh, we're talking about Brandy. Yeah. I have no excuses
Ariana
for
didn't
her.
die. Brandy almost died.
I don't know.
A couple of
Ariana
Fridays
started-
ago,
Oh god.
started up a Monster of the Week game for one of my local groups. And I am so tempted to bring in my character from the Wednesday game.
Do it.
The trick is the first adventure. The monster is essentially the hound that guards Hela's realm,
Okay.
Garm or something like that. You know, they're being faked off to think it's a werewolf because it's down in New Orleans, and the voodoo guy that called him in, he thinks that's what it is. But the person that set it loose did that. So this old guy would go in unprepared for what he was actually facing.
Oh,
But he was smart enough to call in help. So you've got,
Oh.
So they're starting to get hints that it's not the Luke Guru they thought it was.
Yep. Oh god, that's
exciting.
that's fun.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to. We got some investigation stuff done last time. They haven't actually confronted the beast yet.
You are welcome to use Brandy if you have need of her, by the way.
The Hellhound.
The Hellhound.
Oh boy.
Now they've got a werewolf on their team.
Oh.
They've got a werewolf, a mundane,
Oh, mundane.
a spell slinger, a professional,
Yep. like a lot of
expert. I think that's it.
That's actually pretty well. Well, like, they have their, like, the mundane will be probably the most interesting. I love the mundane. It's just. What?
Isn't that how those games usually work? The
Yep.
mundane one, like the most interesting person.
It's just the mundane skills are so funny sometimes. I love the mundane skills.
So we only have the 20 points for the thing, right?
For skills.
For skills? Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Unless you got highly skilled.
Unless you got highly skilled, which we'll get
Gotcha.
to.
And how much does highly skilled cost?
It is 1 point per level.
Okay, so I can, with my flaws, I've got 2 build points to play with.
Okay.
Yeah, so
You've got 3 to play with.
do I?
From what you've marked down, you've got 2 defects. Your values
I mean,
are 2 and 1.
I've got them factored in until the points used already.
Oh yes, sorry.
And yes, I've got 2 defects.
Yeah.
Reoccurring nightmares and a couple of massive scars. So, and that was called highly skilled.
Mm-hmm.
It costed 1 per level.
Yep, 1 per level.
And gave me how many skill points?
10 for each level.
Okay. That'll be more than enough for me to finish out.
Oh, this is gonna bother me. I want to make it even. Oh wait, I have other skills.
And level 6.
This is 12. Ah, it's too. So,
Is there anything else you need to cover, V?
Unless anybody has some questions. Questions about skills, questions about defects, anything specific on the story they're looking for that doesn't give away the story but gives away something that they need for their character.
What is Orchid's personality like since I trained under her?
Orchid. So Dahlia pilots Orchid. She comes off a little bit as a brat, but she is well trained in a lot of close range fighting. So that would have been one of the main things that she taught
That fits
whenever
me.
it came time. She's put in the limelight quite a bit as the poster child, but she also is the niece of the head of the council, which is Axel. So whenever something was needed for the group, she usually got her way. So if something was not working, you guys got it fairly quickly because of Dahlia. She's a little bit of a brat. She's quite young as well, which is
How old are most of us? How old are most of the main 6? How old are most of us?
the youngest is, if I go back to my notes really quickly. So Quentin, who runs Volt, he's the youngest member at 20. He's the youngest of the main 6. Cordula was the main 6's leader at the time. She's about 42.
All right, and Dahlia is how old?
Dahlia is probably around like 24, 25-ish.
Okay.
You'd think she's a lot younger with the way she acts sometimes, but she's not.
Holy shit! Look at that interrogation roll.
Oh, jeez. Y'all are gonna get your way.
Oh, Deca, that's actually a really good way to set up the names. I'm gonna do that right now. Yazawa is 27.
Kurtov's 20.
Is what 20? I heard you say
Huh?
20, but I didn't catch the rest of his age.
Oh, 22. Sorry, I thought you were
22.
I don't know if you're asking me or Matt.
No, you. Sorry, I heard Maddie's 27.
That's also Soul.
Deca, you said that your soul was 12, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mine's also 12.
Nice. You need to take the more persuasive skills, and we'll be like good cop, bad cop.
Right?
Oh God.
I mean, aren't we already
I have,
technically good cop, bad cop because I'm super kawaii desune? I
Yikes.
cannot play bad cop at all.
I also have intimidation. Is mostly why I say that. Whoo! Look at that crit, 25.
Yes, use them now.
No, Deca, stop rolling. What are you doing?
It's a 6-sided die. I'm not scared of ones or. It's a 6-sided die, and I have a plus 12 modifier. And a plus 14 modifier. I'm not scared of rolling two snake eyes.
I mean, let's be honest here. When I rolled acrobatics, 11 was literally the lowest I could roll. So
Yeah, exactly.
So I'll give everybody their names whenever it comes time of what is what mech. Who is who paired up with. I'll do that after. Well, yeah. Anybody
Sure.
have any other questions?
I'm sure I'll think of something by next week, but right now I can't think of anything.
Trident like?
What was Trident like? So Lorcan Lynch is the pilot for Trident. He is dramatic and flashy. So if there is something he can do in battle that's going to gain the attention of everybody, that is what Trident is doing. Be it, I'm going to set off an explosion really close by, that's not going to damage me, but it'll damage other people, but also make people look my direction. I'm going to do that. And of course, Trident, he fights very well in water. He's very much like, if there's an open water, it got a little stereotypical with Trident, where he basically like Aquaman, but a mech.
I'm into it.
What about
Sounds good.
my person, Tara? I believe it was.
Tara. So you are you trained under Cordula Roma. Tara is very stern and serious. She was the leader of the original 6. She's also the oldest of all the mech pilots at 42. She doesn't take goofing off very well. If you are in training, you are in training, and you need to be on your toes at all times.
How is mine like?
Yours was Volt, wasn't it?
Yes.
Quentin? Quentin Knoll. So Quentin is the youngest of about 20. He's a little laid back. He's a little bit more laid back compared to most of the others, but he is he's highly trained in range. So
Okay.
ranged, and also his mech runs lightning very much. Orchid is fast and very good at close range melee. Terra is she loves open range. She's not very good in tight spots, unfortunately. Volt is long range and very much electrical based. Trident loves the dramatics and is very good in the water. Pandora is you notice she's an aggressive fighter. She fights well close range mostly. And then Carnage is just destructive. I'm taking Carnage right out of the name there. He usually whenever Carnage goes out, he's nowhere near a town. Hopefully. He will uproot forests. He will break down fucking small mountains that are around. He's all about damaging, but with the world around him. Well, that's a big boulder. I'm just gonna snap that off a mountain and throw it at somebody.
It's in my way. I'm gonna punch it and make it little boulders.
Yep. Oh, look at this. Let me show my brute strength by just punching this wall for no reason.
Yeets a boulder, it crushes a small town.
Now see how that is a yikes. That was
Yeah.
COD fail. Axel Samar, the leader of the council, is he's in his 60 man. Dahlia is his niece, which everybody is usually made aware, or if it's not made aware, she will make it aware. Axel comes off very he worries for everybody's safety, but he definitely has more interest in what's beyond the Nether and what they can take from the Nether before being forced to shut down these portals.
Ooh, excuse me.
Does variables mean?
Hmm?
In the sheet where you put your attributes and such, what does variables mean?
Variables is a variable cost. I'm pretty sure some of the skills will have variable attached to them.
Oh, okay. That's what it
why
means.
why they would go up and down.
Okay.
My flight is up to 200 kilometers per hour.
Beep beep.
You gotta go.
It says it's compared to a slow moving helicopter, and I'm like, that's pretty fast.
Slow moving helicopter. Y'all ever seen a helicopter move? No. All right. How we feeling otherwise?
Well, it'll be interesting to see how this works out.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I have a question for the rest of the players. How many of you have, like, super tragic backstories? I just want to make sure that I'm not piling on another one, that's all. I don't want us to all be the Batman.
Well, I mean, does getting squished by a car count?
No.
There we go.
I mean,
You got your
emotionally
answer.
tragic.
I mean,
I don't.
she lost her sight at 15.
Yeah, that's
But-
pretty bad.
I mean,
That's pretty tragic.
but it's not like I lost
Was it an
my
accident
sight.
or life?
It's like it was a medical condition.
Oh, okay.
So she was going blind up until she hit 15 when she fully went blind.
But she's not all emo about it.
No.
Just check.
She is going to
My
be very different than every character you guys have seen me play to date.
I wasn't implying anything when I asked if she was emo.
Yeah, you fucking were.
I was thinking about my character when I said that. I'm sorry.
Look, I'm aware that I have a type that I play. Okay? I am aware. I embrace it.
I'm actually doing something different from what I usually play.
Same.
Is he actually going to be a Hot Topic manager?
No, he's not actually going to be a hot
Aw.
topic.
He just looks
he's not
the
old.
part.
He's not old enough. Well, maybe at 22 he might be old enough.
You'd be surprised how some younger people are becoming like managers of at least the small shops.
Probably because the small shops don't pay much, so the older folks don't want him.
To answer your question, my character definitely has a sad background, but is not Batman about it in the slightest. In fact, usually deflects with humor and bravado. So the sad aspect will probably only come out in a traumatic scene.
Okay.
But yeah, he lost his arm while defending a friend who died anyway.
Okay.
So,
That's
like,
bad.
super sad background. But, again, defense mechanism is humor and, well, I am the best of the best, so let me just take care of this. Because, let's be honest, I've got this.
Beautiful.
Hey, buddy, let me give you a hand. Oh, wait, wrong hand. Let me give you a hand. My guy is pretty happy-go-lucky. Never, just a like you said, just a regular dude. Just kind of takes care of himself a little bit. Kind of, studies up a little bit. He does a little bit of studying. He does a little bit of exercise. And he just, for some reason, is just because I'm reading Soul as like social stats. So he's got a lot of. His words have a lot of gravity, especially when he's trying to get information from people. He's not even like being like overtly like, "Tell me the fucking secret." He's just like, "You should probably tell me. It'd be pretty cool if you told me."
It'll
So
go
it's
a
not so
lot
much
better for
intimidation as it is
you.
persuasion.
It'll go a lot better for you if you just tell me what I need to know.
Please?
It's never a please. It's like you will tell me what I want to know. He's got a way with words. I'm sorry, I have two types. I have M1 Abrams and I have Charisma Fighter.
Beautiful.
Alright, so I've got one build point left.
That's how mine was, and I was like, okay, screw it, Artisan.
Beautiful.
So he makes little. I'll figure out what he makes on the side. Probably just makes little statues.
Everybody's got like, you can be from the military to a daycare teacher. Everybody that matches up with them that gets trained in some way, shape, or form to become the mech pilots that they are today.
He's a scout. He's a scout. That's his thing. He has most of his gun combat is literally just to distract for Big Boy over here to get his hits in.
Yeah.
Hey, look over here.
Oh god. Why didn't I put you with Carnage? You guys would have done
What
fine.
does Kinsai do?
Kinsai?
It allows the character to perform over-the-top feats involving melee weapons, but it doesn't really...
It's
There's a list under there, never mind.
Yeah,
Okay, I was like...
it's like Gun Bunny, but for melee.
Yeah.
Well, I wasn't planning on spending my last point on that, but... I was looking up
You
speed.
certainly can.
And each point that you put into that particular skill means you get to unlock another skill in that thing. Which is why I have two in Bow Bunny, because I wanted two of the abilities in it.
Okay.
Like I think very rarely is Cortov gonna actually do damage. He's just gonna piss off somebody for someone else to do damage.
It's okay. I don't need katana space because I'm generating energy blades.
Guess I'm assuming that melee defense will work with my shield It says if a character is using a weapon to parry. So I'm assuming using a shield is technically a weapon. Because the other one says dodge or block the attack with his or her body. That's weird.
If I take that one, I can jump at him and do extra damage. 2 weapons means I could actually... But I've already got multiple attacks, so... Yeah, let's look up speed, see how much faster it makes me.
Oh, here's a good question. When we get into combat, for those of us who are using weaponry that would normally require ammunition, are we going to have to track ammunition? And how much ammunition do we get?
I'm going to make you track bullets. No, I'm kidding. Depending. So there will be a max that... That's a good question. And I will
get back to me on it next week.
I'll make that decision for next Wednesday, because I know definitely for bow and arrow, that's definitely something you will want to have like tracked in a sense. But it's really hard. I don't want to make people who are like, I have a machine gun. I'm gonna make you track.
I'm right here.
Yeah, I'm gonna make you track the 100 bullets you guys have. Oh, that.
Pew, pew, pew.
I mean,
You're just like your guns automatically have a counter that makes you track bullets.
either
In
that
that
or
case,
It's the heads-up display from Halo.
that'll work.
I was curious. We have the energy thing. Maybe all our weaponry is based around our energy.
There's that as well. So,
Yeah, actually, limited shots is a weapon disadvantage. So if you guys want to track ammo, you can do limited shots. And if not, don't take it, and we have cinematic ammo.
so
Your gun jams. Fuck.
as of right now, I'm gonna say, actually, I like Fringe Core's idea. It'll be energy based. So, Maddie, whenever you draw back your bow,
I summon an arrow
you'll see
of
an energy tether from the front of the bow to the end of the string, and as soon as you release, you'll see it fly forward.
I like it.
Like how your submachine gun will, I don't know, whatever color of energy you would like. That's a little energy, like paintball pellet CC.
You
Light
are
blue.
damn
Big as
sure
fuck.
that
Baby blue.
you are damn sure that Revenant is all colored like dark, and he's like black and red and dark blues, and then the fucking energy coming out of his bow is hot pink.
Sounds like
Sounds like
That sounds pretty good.
Because the mech is edgy. The user, not so much.
All right. So yes, everybody.
I think I had one question before.
Yes.
My dimensional portals.
Yes.
How are we going to treat?
So what do you want? So what do you want dimensional portals to portals to be? Now-
So, go ahead. You're the GM. I'm letting you rules it.
Because whenever I'm thinking dimensional portals, like in this world, I'll cut you off again because this. Think of Marvel's Blink. She opens a portal in one way and opens another. Even though it's a dimensional portal, you're not going to be able to open a portal from your world, say, to the Nether, or say to like another dimension. Definitely, right in front of you. Open another one, see a tree in a distance that's over there. That's what it would be.
Summoner spell flash. Good. That's what I'm looking at.
Now,
Okay.
You can open them for you.
I have a player question. Can you? And I think you were just about to answer it as I'm asking the question. Can you open it for other people?
Yes.
I'm pretty sure,
So
even if that's not a description in Dimensional Portal, I'm going to allow it.
Yeah, I already have a
That's
game plan.
fun.
We're good.
That's fun. I think that's fun.
Oh my god. Is it bad that I just saw like a really great mech duo here, Deca?
Go on.
With oh my god, where'd all the with Crude Space Leviathan and Revenant, you literally just like move me around the
Oh, jeez.
combat field through these portals, making me very hard to hit as I'm firing.
I will say, Cortav's a bit of a or in a past life he was a bit of a delinquent.
Just pull a massive prank and have them fall out of the sky instead of going towards a direction that you wanted it to be.
I make them run into a tree.
They'd probably be fine. They'd just run through the tree, but afterwards it's like, fuck me.
Oh.
Yes.
So I've got the weapon attack, the super strength, and the massive damage. Okay.
Jesus Christ, dude!
I had left that out when I was figuring out how many points of damage I was
Out of curiosity, roll the weapon attack.
I don't have it.
If you have
He doesn't have it set up yet.
Damn it!
But I'll get 30 damage from my weapon, plus 10 for super strength, plus 5 for massive damage. And my Kensai
Jesus
move,
Christ.
if I jump at him, I get another plus 5.
See,
All I can think of is that video of like the Game Grumps yelling. It's like, don't fucking jump at me.
But I may
Fucking
drop
kill
the
you.
massive damage and take heavy armor or something. I'll have to look at it. I need some kind of armor or force shield or something.
I figure there might be like some sort of I find it kind of interesting. You would have to work all these modifiers in for defense and combat.
well, I mean, I think it's actually a really good system doing it that way. Because then
Well,
you
I
don't
mean, it's
wind
not-
up... You choose to wind up heavily swayed one way or the other, but you can't be heavily swayed in both directions. Like, you have to choose one or the other.
Well, I understand that, but it's more the modifiers putting them in. I'm trying to figure this out right now, like for defense and such. Since my character's mostly just going to be defensive actions.
I stand
So-
there. I take hits. I do good deeds.
So
I think
crushed
good
the-
thoughts.
I think good thoughts. I think good thoughts while people are trying to beat me up, but they're not doing it because I'm a defense mech.
Them, Father, for they know not what they do.
So how do you add, like roll for defense?
I think it's DCV, which you've already rolled.
I thought so, but shouldn't there be something that should be counting against it?
I would also make a roll, if I remember correctly.
Well, it's also got modifiers and such that I also got to count on. I see DCV mod here.
Yeah, so
Mhm.
I think it's
Is it-
depending on what you're doing. So if you're doing like a specific thing, like you're physically hiding behind your shield, your mod would from the shield would go into DCV mod, and then you roll DCV.
Okay,
At
I'm just
least
trying to
that's
figure
my
out.
understanding, because I was reading Shield earlier, and that's my understanding of how that would work.
Well, shield, the way it works is if you fail it and you got a one or like you're off by one, it counts the defense. So to your damage reduction.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just trying to figure out because I have melee defense and range defense. I'm also trying to figure out how to add into those.
I also have ranged defense. Hang on, I read this. What was it? I didn't leave the description in there like a dumbass.
So you have to roll under it? Or
I think. Hang on, let me.
player must roll less than or equal to his or her character's defense combat value on 2 dice.
Yep. So you're rolling against your body, mind, and that. In a way. There are
So mine's a 4 and I have a 14, so what?
why do you
I'm
have
confused.
a 10 plus 4? This is something we'll figure out before.
Because I hit the roll here.
Yeah, for some reason, sometimes sometimes this is the issue that I had last time whenever I did play Monster of the Week. We had to start rolling 2d6 separately because for some reason, like the rolls weren't like adding up correctly or making sense in a way. So it's just something I will make sure to go over and read. And we may get stuck rolling just 2d6.
Like, here's my ranged defense and such, and then so I'm just confused on.
This will have to be something I'll look into before we start, just because I know there are issues. There are issues for some reason with the actual page, and it's not even just. That's why we didn't use Simplify. That's why we didn't like use.
Damn, that changes a lot. So, I forgot to tick that the bow is an item, and my total cost per level went down to 1. Yeah. And then I just pumped the 3 levels that I would have been putting into bow anyway into it. My damage is now 38.
Oh, y'all are gonna hit like trucks. I love it.
It's gonna be very anime.
But did any of you take armor?
Hi.
Besides the one that's big and slow. Perfect.
I don't need armor. I'm vamping the fuck everywhere.
As long as they stay behind my shield, my force field should at least soak some of the damage. But every time it takes damage, it drops a level if they overseed it.
It's ablative.
So if they overcomes however much it is, then it drops down a level, and whatever other damage gets through. And I have to figure out charging my shield, such. All sorts of weird rules I have to read on. But right now, I'm looking at approximately, if I add everything up as a defense, in armor and shielding, I'm looking at about 100 defense points and damage reduction.
Note to self, you're last to hit. No, I'm kidding. No, these things aren't that smart. It'll be fine. I'm pretty sure they'll see a big beefy guy and think, it's probably big and beefy though.
Well, just naturally, I have a 10 protection, but if I have my shield, I got 45.
Yep.
And force field adds another 45.
Yeah, I have some light armor and some heavy armor, depending on which mech mode I'm in.
Oh, beautiful.
Not nearly that much, though. Oh my gosh.
Bless you.
Sorry.
So when we're hit 0, we get incapacitated, and when we hit minus 20, we become dead. Good to know.
Yikes.
Suffer. I have a good feeling that none of you will die. It'll be okay. Me, my fingers crossed under my desk.
Jumps off a cliff.
I mean,
you as the player without your mech.
I can at least capture a couple of you and get you out of there.
Oh, see, I jump off the cliff, and then I open a portal in mid-air, and it goes. The force hits me even further down.
Oh God! Just like you're playing portals to increase your speed until you wipe the portal and hit the ground at like fucking max damage.
Yep. No, the way I see it, he uses it to shoot himself and fly even faster.
Oh my God.
Whee! We're all like, dude, we can't catch up with you.
You're going in YOLO, man.
I make it look like super speed, but actually I'm just doing a portal between me and the other person.
Cool.
Well, for the record, despite saying this was not going to take 3 hours, we are a half hour from end time.
Well, that's because it's definitely a new game.
It was absolutely going to take that long. There's a lot of things you have to tick in.
However, I think everybody's good. Any other questions we have, we can save while we're on stream and playing this. And Jason, you're still doing character creation, so if you have more questions, just
I'll be here.
I'm just
ask me. They'll be around.
at the moment.
Just like
I got this. I
writing down
promise.
3.
So, ladies and gentlemen who stuck around with us for the evening, thank you so much. I hope you learned as much as we did with creating your character and Big Eyes Small Mouth. We are going to get into some actual storyline stuff next week. I hope you guys are excited. I'm excited. We all owe a huge thanks to V for running Big Eyes Small Mouth. Thank you to Jason for running Icons most recently. And always thank you to our players. Ray, it's great to have you back.
Yes.
Decca
Great to
and
be back.
Fringe. Again, I look forward to playing with you guys, so that'll be fun. As always, we like to thank our sponsors before we head out, and that is D&D Beyond, that is D, the letter N, D, Beyond.com, as well as Lucky Dice Cafe and Station Retro. If you're looking for a live game to play out in Huntsville, Alabama, you should go check out those 2 locations, as our head DM plays and runs games live in those 2 locations in Huntsville, Alabama. Don't forget, ladies and gentlemen, that if you have Twitch Prime, you can give it to us if you so desire. Not saying you have to, but it's always nice to have it. Helps us create a better streaming experience for you guys to watch. Helps us get materials if we need them. Every little bit helps us create a better game for you to listen to and for us to play. Just one final announcement about the Wednesday showcase. After we finish Big Eyes Small Mouth at the end of October, beginning of November, Wednesday showcase will be going away until the new year. We will be doing something different. We'll be doing something new. So if you guys haven't joined our Discord, please hop on over onto our Discord, join us up. We will be posting up announcements, and we're soon going to be having a call to expand our DM squads. So keep your eye out, and we will go on from there. So, ladies and gentlemen, remember, be good to one another, and roar for initiative.